In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down a sales call from a client from everything that I have learned from doing over $100 million worth of business over the phone.
Hi, here. How are you doing today?
Oh, I came out as scared and likely. How's it going?
Good. Yeah, do you have time now?
Yeah, I have a quick second.
All right, so that's the first thing. The intro of a call is very, very important. And when you asked him, hey, do you have a second now? There was a second of silence, and then you started to talk just for a microsecond like you wanted to intervene, right? What that signals is someone of low status. You're seeking approval almost, and you don't feel confident of the question that you asked, and you're about to kind of jump in and start to butt in immediately. And then the next thing that he says is like, yeah, I have a quick second. So immediately he's kind of putting you on the back foot and telling you that, hey, I am pressed for time. So typically what you want to do in this relationship where it's like, this is a multi follow-up call sales cycle. It's not like a, hey, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, one short sales cycle call. Then if now's not the right time, you don't want him to put you on the back foot immediately and get you pressed for time and you feeling like I had to rush the sales process. You'd be like, cool, look, if now doesn't work, I'm more than happy to give you a buzz back another time. And you're almost inviting him to get off the phone call here because you don't want to speak to him as immediately he's going to be rushing you. And then again, they are in control of the phone call, not you, because they are dictating how much time they have available to speak to you.
Gotcha, no problem. Yeah, so basically I'll just give you a quick call here because I know we had you scheduled in, right? Catch up soon in January. So I just want to give you a call to see if anything changed on your end. How's things traveling so far?
Nothing changed from our last conversation last week. Yeah, it's still, it's still planning for the new year for us to start.
Gotcha. Yeah, awesome.
Yep, so here's the next thing. So obviously we're calling them up and we say, hey, just want to check in if anything has changed since when we last spoke. Now, in between calls, right, you're never going to get a prospect as hot as you get them at the end of your first phone call because over time, the information retention in their brain just degrades very, very aggressively and they forget about everything and they forget realistically why the problem was that they actually, wanted to reach out to you and speak to you in the first place. So what we want to do is something that I call the mini bomb. Like we jump into the sales call and we're doing a follow-up call. Hey, I just want to check that did anything change from the last time that we spoke? Last time we spoke, we went over XYZ, right? You're currently in your physiotherapy business. You guys are struggling to get new clients coming in. It's a little bit unpredictable. Some months are really great. Other months are really, really slow. And we're basically talking about implementing a system to give you predictability and consistently with the way that you attract clients into your business. Now, the reason for the call is, and then you give them a reason for the call, right? Something's just come up. I've just had a client basically book into another one of those further spots in January. I just wanted to just give you a call to see how things are placed on your end. You got to re-warm them up and ramp them back up to try and get them so it's not you're starting the call from a standstill, you're ramping up the speed of the call and getting some motion in the call immediately from the get-go.
Look, so basically, we actually filling up on our side, right? A lot of practice owner, they want to kick things off with like a bang in January, and the Christmas season is rolling off as well. So we only basically got like 2 or 3 more spot left for our pay-per-performance model, right? I definitely know, right? You're super busy juggling everything between the New York business and then here as well. I just want to make sure, is this something that you still want to do? Or is this something that you'll be deciding in January that?
Second mistake. Is this still something that you want to do? Then just shut up. Just let them answer you. Don't then plant the objection or is this something that you want to do in January? We want to get them on the yes ladder. Is this still something that you want to do? Yes. Excellent, right? And then you move in.
Whether or not you would be considered to move forward.
Well, just like we were talking about last week, even if I started now, I don't got nowhere to treat the patient. So it would be kind of like an early start, like we were talking about. So
gotcha.
One of those things.
Gotcha. So is this something you want to start in January? Is there something you definitely want to do in January?
Yeah, I'm like 80% there.
So what are the 20%?
Yeah, first of all, that's great, right? You're further buttoning this down. Is this something that you definitely want to do in January? Then he tells you, yeah, like I'm 80%. And then you're further kind of trying to dive and probe into the call and find out, like, well, what is that other further 20%? So first of all, that's great. You're actually moving the ball further down the field.
Making the budget and making it, and I need more clarity on my end as things are going to start. How are they going to start? What are, there's a lot of things that I don't have solidified yet. So it would be early. It would be premature to do this right now.
Gotcha. So as soon as the clinic's ready for business, right, we can go ahead and get you rolling, right? And bring you a patient. Am I correct?
All right, so he basically just threw us a bone in the call and he said budget, right? And we just completely ignored that and we're going into when the clinic opens. So first of all, you want to get clarification of what he means by that. Sure, could you unpack that a little bit? Could you double click on that? Let me know, what do you mean by about the budget? And then he's going to go to further on expand out what he's actually alluding to with this budget question.
I think so, but the other issue is, even though we're supposed to open January, I'm hoping it's still January. Construction has been held up because of a couple of different reasons. There's still a lot of work to do there, and then we have to get a building permit. So I'm hoping January, but that is kind of...
Boom. Hoping January. Already seeding another stall in the deal.
In the air. I don't know if it's going to be further delayed. We got another month left before January, and they still got a lot of work to do.
Gotcha, no problem. So, are you is there anything else? Are you looking to get like a 20 new patient per month, right? Is there any other ways you're looking to get it? Or because we remember our first call, right? We basically calculated 20 new patient per month as your target goal to hit your $300,000 on annual revenue.
So this is what you should have done at the start of the call, right? Rather than kind of recapping the problem later on in the call, you want to lead with that. However, you do get points for at least going and double clicking on this now. And the big thing is just to kind of pay attention to is just the tonality, the downward inflection, and just the cadence in which you're speaking and how confident you feel after you've actually delivered a statement or asked a question just in your own presence, right? Because a sales call is a transfer of energy. And if you're transferring nervous, uncertain energy to them, that's not going to give them the certainty that they need to then move forward, whatever you're asking them to do. And the only way that you're going to get really great at that is just by getting the reps in, making lots of calls, and then just reviewing game tape footage and listening to your tonalities and just really kind of micro-analyzing how you're handling the pace and the cadence and the pauses on the call and the statements when you're making. When you're asking a question and then you end by downward inflecting and being completely comfortable in staying in silence for you to get the answer and the inputs that you need from that side of the call.
Yeah. I got to go back. I've been really busy, man. I got to go back and look at all those conversations we had. I just haven't had time to do all those. And, it's the highest priority because of everything else I'm trying to juggle. But as the date approaches and the new year approaches, I'll have more clarity.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely. So, because just want to let you know, right? We only got two.
Right. So he just evaded your question. Your question was, is there anything else that you're looking at to help you solve this problem of getting 20 new patients? And he's just saying that he has to revisit the materials. Like, that is a binary question. It's either a yes or a no. Are there any other alternatives? Is there any other solutions? Is there any other coaches, consultants, programs, or anything else that you're looking at to potentially help you solve this problem? Yes or no, yay or nay, right? It's he will know that information. So don't let them off the hook so easily when you're asking them a very simple binary question of like, what other alternatives are you looking at to help you solve this problem? Whether it's now, whether it's in January, right? That's completely fine, all good, get it. But are there any other alternatives that you're looking at or that you know that exist to help you solve this problem? Bang, and just get that answer. I obviously like agreeing with the prospect, gotcha, but just make sure not to do it over what he's saying. Because a lot of the time if you ask a question, you sit in the silence, they'll further elaborate out on what it is that they were going to say. And then you'll get more intel. Or if they give you an answer and you're not confident in the answer that they've given you, or it doesn't give you the information that you need, you can simply mirror them by saying, what do you mean by going back and revisiting the calls? Or just by saying, oh, going back and revisiting the calls, and then upward inflect, and then they will go on and explain, yeah, you like I had to go over the calls and this and that, and then they'll unearth some other piece of information that they didn't give you the first time around.
Your 3 more spot left. Basically, our client max volume, right? If this is something that you really want to do, right? So we need to basically lock you in right now and make sure everything is ready to go.
Yeah, but what would you require for me to lock in?
It's basically the 1,500 setup deposit.
Okay. Yeah, let me get back to you on that. I gotta get back to you to see if I could. So you're saying
So that was a perfect example of you staying silent. You didn't say anything. He's like, let me get back to you on that. You didn't say anything. So now what he's going to do is he is going to further expand on what he means by having to get back to you.
I could put a deposit down and then start whenever. Let's say this gets pushed down to February. What happens then?
We'll get started February.
We'll just get started in February?
Yeah, so because like as I mentioned, right, we only have that many spot left, especially when we're doing such an amazing offer, right? So basically you pay us $1,500 and then you don't pay us a single cent until this thing works, right? That's basic commission. So we're getting a lot of people sign up for this, and then me and we talk about it, right? We only got 3 more spot left, and then we're like, hey, there's like a guy who's a lot of potential, right? So just give him a call first before we get everything filled up.
Let's see. I gotcha. All right. Well, let me. It's all right if I give you a call back later this week.
Yeah. So what specifically you need to like think about, or?
I gotta get the budget to pay for that first. I gotta look at a bunch of things. I can't just, I gotta really. I'm a planner, so I have to know exactly what I'm doing.
Gotcha. So is there like any other reason other than the money? Would this not make sense for you to go ahead and get started?
It's primarily the money and again, I gotta have to see it clearly. Like I need to have, I think I just need some time to organize myself and strategize. So.
All right, see, so now we're starting to get a lot of mixed signals in this sales cycle right now. The first thing was like, I need to check the budget. Then I just need some time. Then I just need to see everything. And there's this big monster, and he's sitting behind you on the phone call, and that is the silent objection monster. And unless we go and shine the light on that thing and unearth what that silent objection is, we have no idea where we're at in this sales cycle, because he's just sending out smoke signals and we're not really getting a good read on where he is. And this is where I would like to do in the call is just say like, yo man, like you can just level with me, right? Like it's completely fine. Is this something that you seriously want to do, right? Like, do you really want to start to get away to get 20 new patients coming in where you know consistently every single week there's going to be 20 new patients that show up in your practice like clockwork, and then you can have the peace of mind to do all the things that we spoke about that have been really troubling you in the business? Is this something you want to do or not? Just yes or no. I can take a no as easy as I can take a yes. What is it for you? Oh, it's a yes, right? So then what is it that you're not quite telling me? Because it sounds like, this is something that you definitely want to do, right? I'm saying it's $1,500. We can lock in your spot for January, and then we can get this problem solved for you. This is as no-brainer of a deal that I'm ever going to be able to make to you, right? So what is it that you need to see in order to have the confidence to move forward with this? And just getting out of this whole like salesperson dynamic with the prospect and just being real with that person. And most people, they get caught up in that character of trying to sell somebody rather than just trying to level with them, trying to get real with them and seeing if they're going to actually be able to help them solve this problem. And if this prospect actually has a burning need to solve this problem. But this guy is not giving us the clear outcome. He's not saying what it is. He's saying it's time, it's budget, blah, 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 blah. So he needs the time to go, he's a planner, right? He mentioned that. And at the time time to go and check it. Cool, man. Well, like, let's just be real. Like, do you have $1,500 to put down on the deposit of this, right? We take Visa or MasterCard. That's all that it is. If you're ready in January, we'll fire up in January. If that pushes out to February, I'm happy to start you off in February. Look at this as locking in your spot in this program. As I said, there's 3 more left. I really want you in the program. I'm super confident. I see a lot of potential with you. Let's lock you in and let's roll and set the next year up to be an awesome success for you. And then another objection will come out, but we need to start building a little bit of momentum in this stage of the call.
I have a lot of things going on right now. I haven't even been really able to put much focus on what I'm starting. And it's
Got it.
I'd like to revisit, re-strategize what I'm doing. Right now, it would just, it would just kind of feel like uncharacteristic of me to just shoot without a plan.
Wow, uncharacteristic of him, right? So this is when we really need to convey some level of certainty to him. People don't make decisions when they're uncertain, right? So it's our job to inject certainty into them. And one of the ways that we do that is by answering all of their questions and also having enough conviction around our solution to help them solve that problem. In his mind, it sounds like he needs some time to evaluate all the other options and scenarios that could possibly take place to find out whether or not this is going to be the right decision for him. So instead of us putting time in the deal, because time kills deals, we're just going to help him make that informed decision right now, because we are the source of information on the sales call. It's not like once he goes off the sales call that he has a lot of other information that's going to help him make this decision of whether or not this is right. We need to help him make that decision now. We need to help him wrap his arms around what that looks like right now by exploring what those possible options are. So this is why it's really important that before, when you asked him, what else are you looking at to help you get 20 new patients per week? And he kind of sidestepped out. This is why it's really important for us to double click and walk through that door. Is so in his mind, we check off. It's like, do you want to solve this problem? Yay or nay? Yay, right? I want to solve this problem. Excellent. We've just walked through the first door. Then the second door is, what other alternatives are you looking at to solve this problem? If he says that there aren't any alternatives to solve these problems that he's looking at, excellent. Next door we get to walk through together. Tick. And then we get to a place where it's like, cool. Excellent. Do you have the $1,500 to lock this in right now? Yes, I do. Well, then let's just do it. You're helping them check those things off in their mind and help them make a decision. But if they don't have certainty around all of these little red herrings that they're throwing at you in the call, they're not going to have the conviction to buy.
That's kind of how I am.
So is there any more things you would want us to show you on our side? Because basically we went through a lot of things already to show you how everything works on the internet, and then basically showing you exactly how we can help you get to 20 new patients per month, right?
Yeah, no, there's nothing else from you guys. And, again, I appreciate everything that you've shared with me.
Gotcha.
Just something that
Yeah, so don't say gotcha when he's not finished talking, because then he's going to stop talking and then you're not going to get any other raw materials that you need.
I have to kind of get into.
Gotcha. So can we go ahead and get the 1,500 set up today first, right? And then when you think about it, you don't want to do it, just tell us, we can refund the deposit back, right? Because this is to lock in your spot. Because I got like 6 more people I got to call up to you to, like, right? Basically offering them three more spots. So.
Yeah. No, I can't do that right now. I would not be able to do that right now.
Yep. The first thing is that you've gone immediately to fully refundable deposit, and this is a deposit, right? Rather than staying in that uncomfortable place of the call a little bit longer and to stir up what's the reason that we wanted to do this in the first place? What was the reason that you booked in this call with me? What was the problem that you were looking to solve? What happens if we go down the road and we don't solve this? What are the implications going to be if we just let things to run just the way that they are right now? How much money have you invested to set up your current practice? What other costs were associated with doing that? What would happen if you opened it and there were no new patients coming in? And really understanding those things rather than immediately going to, hey, if you even decide in the future that you don't want to do this, you just give me a call and I'll refund the money. There is a time and place in the call for that, but now is not that time because we're just emptying the clip right now. But I will say that like, at least you've got that latch on there. You obviously feel like this call is kind of slipping away from you. And that just might be an instinct thing where you're like, hey, let me just throw this out and hope that it sticks. But let's see how this unwinds for you.
So, I'll just give you a call back and see if you guys still have any openings, kind of when I'm ready.
Okay, so when would I be able to call you back?
So I will give you a call back when I am ready. I am in control, right? And then you're obviously speaking up to, hey, like, well, when would be a good time for me to give you a call back? Rather than actually just asking him, excellent, like, what else is it that you need to see to get the confidence to move forward with this? What do you feel is going to change in the next 7 days that it's not going to change in the next 7 hours or the next 7 minutes, right? What is it specifically that you need to think about? Is it the price? Is it whether or not I'm the person that you want to be doing business with? Or is it whether or not you believe this system is going to get you the outcome that you want? Like, what specifically is it that you need to go away and think about it? I'm all completely fine. If you need to go away and think about it, it is completely fine. But just so I know, like, what is it specifically that you need to think about? Because there is something, and he's throwing out multiple smoke bombs at you for you to not really understand exactly what it is that he does need to think about.
I don't know. I got to reach out to you.
Got it. So because I'm basically helping you make an informed decision, right? And here's the thing, like you need new patient no matter what, right?
Yeah, but I gotta know what I'm doing. Like I told you, I gotta figure things out, and it has to come from me.
Gotcha. All right. So basically, right? You mentioned you got everything else, right? You got the skill set, you got the experience, you got the work ethic, right? And then, right? And then you're telling me earlier, right? The only thing that you're lacking is the marketing, right? You saw people who are younger than you, right? They're less experienced, they're being coached, and they're crushing it and opening new location and all the good stuff, right? Right, you can do this, and this is your chance. I definitely understand you need to plan ahead, right? You don't want to mess anything up, right? I definitely understand that, right? So like let's say like what would happen if you are not able to getting 20 new patients in your first 3 months, right? You're getting only 3 patients. Like what would happen if that's the case?
Yep, so first of all, kudos. I love it that you went in for another swing and you did it perfectly. You summarized the problem. You went back to make them revisit the reason that they actually booked in a call with you in the first place, went over all the pain points that they'd obviously brought up with you in the first call, went through like, hey, this is the outcome that it is that you want to get to. And now you're also future pacing and saying like, okay, well, what happens if you don't get this outcome? What happens if you go and you do all of this work and then you don't get the 20 new patients in the month? Then what? So great question and way to stick in it.
Look, I haven't even really thought that deep. I need to, I need a little time to kind of get things going.
Yeah, let's say what kind of investment have you paid in order to get this clinic up and running? Like all the rent and everything else?
Say that again?
Like what kind of investment have you already paid in this business to get the clinic up and running?
What have I paid so far to get it up and running?
Yeah, like how much have you invested in this new location so far?
I have invested in just the first 2 months of rent. That's it so far. And then it needs to come together for me to know when I'm going to buy equipment, who I'm going to hire to do the work, if I'm going to stand there. All these things have to be factored in, and all these things have to fall in line.
Gotcha.
So the marketing budget without me having things falling in line, it has to make sense.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now, immature.
Gotcha. So how much is the rent usually each month?
Oh, come on, Jack. It's about $4,000.
Got it. Right. So I'm just basically helping you make an informed decision, right? So let's say you're not getting where you want to be in the first 3 months, right? Then at least you're getting $12,000 in the hole, right? That would be a huge cash flow deficit, right? If that makes sense for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to help you make an informed decision, right? And then if because again, we only have 3 spots left, and then
right? So you need to expand out on that. So let's just put this into perspective, right? You have basically committed to $4,000 in rent per month. So you've paid $8,000 out, and that just gets you the premises, right? That's an overhead for the business. What have you invested so far to actually bring new patients in? Well, nothing. All right, well, don't you see that as being a problem? Yeah, well, I guess I do. Awesome. And I'm saying that I can help you solve that problem. It is going to be around 1/3 of what you spend on rent per month, right? $1,500, and that's as a guaranteed way for you to get 20 new patients coming in to that facility that you have paid $4,000 to rent. So what is it about that like you haven't told me yet? Like for me, that just seems like an absolute no-brainer. So what is it that you're not really telling me? Because it is, it's an absolute no-brainer decision.
I really want to help you to get this going, right? And then do you think it would be reasonable for you to have us guaranteeing you bringing at least 15 to 20 new patients each and every month for the first 3 months, with just spending $1,500 today?
Well, of course, that math works in favor of your argument, but I just, I can't
right.
just. Yeah.
We can, like, if we don't hit that goal in the first month, right, we can happily just give you all the money back, right? Because like our goal is to help you make more patients, get more patients, make you more money. And I just wanted you to see that that's like how, like, see value of what we provide for you.
Let me tell you this. I have a very important business meeting this Friday, which is going to be practically all day. I'll have better clarity after that. How about that?
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I definitely respect that. I definitely think that you need to take your time to think that decision, right?
Yes.
But so when would you be able to get everything sorted out?
I don't know.
Give me time.
I don't know, but like I said, a Friday.
Right, so we've just let him off the hook. We're about to throw him back into the sea and say, bye, little fishy. We're never going to see you again. Because basically, right, you have just made this person like a ridiculous offer. You've just said to them, like, look, you know that the numbers make sense, right? You just said it yourself. Like, of course, those mathematics make sense. Yeah, they do make sense. And I am willing to burden all the risk in this transaction by saying that if I don't deliver on what it is that I say that I'm going to deliver, then I will refund you your $1,500 back. So basically, let's just recap on this. There's 2 scenarios that play out here. One scenario is that you pay the $1,500 and I bring you 20 patients per month, which you said those mathematics work out to your favor and they work very, very well for you and they excite you. Or the other situation is that I don't deliver you 20 patients and you are no worse off than you are right now. So let's just roll, chuck it on Uncle Visa or Auntie MasterCard, and let's do this, man. Let's roll. Because it doesn't make any sense. You're removing all the risk. What is it that he needs to have an important decision about? There's nothing to even think about. It's either he gets 20 patients or he doesn't pay any money. So this is where it really pays dividends to unearth that silent objection. And realistically, there is a huge portion of what you have said to this individual that they simply do not believe, but they're gonna fight like hell to stay within their comfort zone and avoid having a confrontational conversation of like, how do I know? How do I know this is actually gonna work? That's realistically what that prospect is saying in your head, but then you've removed all of that by saying, well, the way that you know is if I don't deliver on what I say I will, then you just don't pay. So there's no downside at all for you. And if they still need to think about it at this point, then they're simply not a buyer because there's nothing to think about. It's like the only thing to think about is there $1,500 on the card for you to whack? That's it, right? But deferring to another conversation, about an important meeting that they need to have, that's just a complete stall. It's not an objection to what it is that you're actually proposing to them. And so there's a fine line, right? Of like, do you do a 2 call? Is it a 3 call, 5, 6, 12 call follow-up to get the deal done, right? But from my experience, where you're at in this sales cycle, and what a no-brainer, no commitment offer it is, that basically the moment that you say goodbye to this individual, then you will never get them back on the telephone again, because they're just going to cool off. And the information that you've told them is all, they're not going to retain it, and it's going to go away, because this offer that you're making to them is a ridiculous offer.
Friday, I have a business meeting. It's a very important one, so it's coming together at the start of this month in December. I'm putting the pieces into place. But right now, I can't just do anything right now. Even no matter how good the deal is. I'm the type of person that's going to pass by it, because if I don't have it, if I don't have my ducks in a row, I'm not going to shoot. That's just how I am. You understand?
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, so would I be able to give you a call next Monday and you can have everything sorted out?
Yeah, again, don't ask permission, right? So let's do this. Your meeting's on Friday, right? Yes, it is. Excellent. Let's do this. I will give you a call back on Monday, and all I ask is that you just shoot me straight, either a yay or a nay, and we'll see if we can get this done for you. Don't ask for permission.
I would hope I have it, yeah. It would have to be around.
And then he's already trying to scape it out now and plan another little kernel. I will hope I have it. Have what? What is this thing that we're talking about here? This is a little genie that you got that you're hiding that you need to go and get and find that's going to help you magically make this decision.
Around this time.
Awesome. So if I still have spot left, I'll definitely give you a call back, right? No matter what, because I definitely want to help you out. But then if the 3 spots gone, then I just need to call you and, hey, you might have to wait a couple more months before you open back up.
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll talk to you next Monday.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care.
All right, and that was good, he said, right? He enjoyed the sales process with you, right? He enjoyed the dance, the tango that you were having, but also, yeah, just throughout that thing, I would say I'll give you a lot of credit. Like, you stuck in there with a lot of people, won't dig their heels in and ask those additional questions. The big thing that is going to overall help is just getting the reps in, focusing on the tonality, being comfortable in the questions that you're asking, and then just shutting up and not trying to speak over them and get further validation whether or not it's a good question. Just say your piece. Don't then begin to answer that question for them. Just ask the question and be quiet. As you do more and more of these phone calls, you will find those critical questions that will get you the information that you need to help people make informed decisions. Because ultimately, we're in the business of providing transformations to people, right? You're selling something that is genuinely really going to help somebody, and then you are removing every and all risk for that individual to get to that outcome, where if they don't get to that outcome, then you're going to further refund their money. So there's absolutely no downside. The only question for this prospect, whether or not, is whether they have $1,500 on the card. It's not about getting your ducks in a row or doing this or doing that, because it's binary, right? You've got the location. You forked out the $4,000 per month for this location, and you don't have a way to get 20 new patients per month, correct? Yes, correct. What other alternatives are you looking to get 20 patients? Nothing. Excellent. So then what other ducks do we need to get into a row? You've already got the ducks in a row of getting the physical location. You don't have the ducks in the row by actually getting you a system that's going to fill up that location. So this is literally me putting a duck in a row for you to get this thing sorted. We're going into Christmas, we're going into December. There's going to be a lot of other things that require your attention in your business. Let's just get this done for you so it's sorted. It's put away in the drawers, nice and neatly, Marie Kondo style. You can go have a wonderful break, end of the year, and then you can open up that location knowing that you've got a partner that's going to deliver you 20 new patients per month. Let's roll. Visa or MasterCard, let's do it. As the more and more calls that you do, the more conviction that you'll have, be able to roll into that, be able to unearth the silent objection, be able to know when someone isn't believing what you're saying, and just having that real moment. We don't want people making decisions that aren't to their benefit. In this situation, it is completely in their benefit and there is zero risk or downside in them doing so. So I hope this call breakdown helped you, whether you own another high ticket business or selling something over the telephone. I hope that you've taken something from this breakdown that you can go away and you can close more deals in your business.